Hello, one and all! It's my review of My Hero Academia, Chapter 293, Hero Saturated Society. And while I have a whole lot to say about this chapter, first and foremost, I really need to cover this color page, because oh my freaking god! The entire crew in steampunk, they all look so freaking amazing! I mean, seriously, look at Aizawa with the eye patch. Looks just so amazing. Actually, I'm wondering if that might be foreshadowing. Did Aizawa lose an eye in this last fight? He was definitely severely injured. Maybe that's what's going to happen moving forward. It's going to be interesting to see how his quirk is effective if he only has one eye, though. Then again, that could certainly be where Eri comes in, you know? She's able to fix LeMillion. Maybe she can fix him, too. Anyway, the important thing I want to talk about was Ida. Ida looks so freaking good in steampunk. I mean, the pipes coming out of his legs have always made him look, you know, just a little bit steampunk with the hat, the coat, all of it. It just works so well for him. I would absolutely freaking love it if this became his new outfit, his new design, just his new hero costume. Can that please happen? I mean, probably not. The armor definitely applies certain benefits, you know, and the vigilantes, it was said to have airbags and whatnot, so I get why he would choose that over this, but please, Ida, if just once, for one episode, for one chapter, can this be what you're wearing? I want to see that. Anyway, so moving on to LeMillion. I was definitely wrong about him last chapter, like a whole bunch. I assumed he just got his quirk back, you know, in the last couple hours, and he rushed over to help save Deku, and that's why Deku looks so surprised. But no, Deku was there when he asked Eri to fix his quirk. Apparently she's been practicing on bugs and lizards up to this point, and can we please just take a moment to appreciate how absolutely freaking adorable she looks with the ponytail that Uraka braided? Oh my god, she's adorable! It definitely hurts him here to ask her to use her quirk to fix him, because, you know, she's been used for her quirk her entire life, and I think the thing he's most afraid of right now is that she's going to think that the only reason he's been nice to her up to this point is so that she can fix the damage that her quirk caused him. But no, oh my god, she has this biggest smile on his face. Well, first she has to ask Aizawa for permission, which is so freaking adorable. But then she says, don't be sorry, that's why I'm training. Oh god. This whole time, all the effort she's been putting in, all the trials and errors and whatever she's been going through to reach this point has been for the sake of fixing him, for the sake of being a hero to him, like he was a hero to her. It's just so freaking adorable and I love it! Oh, also, I definitely missed a very big flag that he was coming back. Because in the one panel we saw of her with All Might's, like 10 chapters ago, her horn was small. But before the time skip, her horn was big. Which means that at some point she used a considerable amount of energy on something. It also does a good job of explaining why she's not quite as OP as a lot of people have believed her to be up to this point. Her horn, it definitely seems to be like a battery. It stores the energy inside her, and then when she uses it, it shrinks. You know, it took her several months to reach the point where her horn could fix LeMillion, and when she did that, horn shrank back down to almost being invisible. That means, yes, she is ridiculously godly powerful, but only maybe like a few times a year. I'm not sure how that'll work moving forward if she does end up becoming a hero. Maybe she'll find smaller ways to use her quirk to stop villains, to save people, to, I don't know, maybe she'll just become a doctor and fix wounds or something like that. Or maybe she'll just find a way to refill her horn more quickly. It's still a bit unclear exactly how it's charged, how long it takes, and what exactly goes into it recharging. So, curious about that. Anyway, so his story after that, as best I can tell, is that he and the rest of the Night Eye Agency were off at another headquarters of the villains, you know, the Paranormal Liberation Army, whatever you want to call them. They had a lot of, you know, members, a lot of headquarters, a lot of bases besides just the hospital and the mansions. So it seems like he was at one of those other bases, detaining the villains there before they could escape, you know, just decided to go kamikaze, more or less. And then he got the call from the mansion saying, hey, Giganto got away, would you mind sending him help? And because he's able to, you know, fly through the ground, more or less, he was able to get there before anyone else did. Yay! And then we come to what is probably one of the busiest panels I have ever seen in this entire series, as everyone comes up to give Best Jeanist a helping hand. Bakugo, despite being stabbed, is still able to get into the fight, basically explaining that him being near death allowed him to push himself even further to condense his explosions to make them faster and stronger, unleashing a whole new level of power for him. And then Ida came in, you know, to lend him a helping hand because he's been stabbed. Big deal right there. And then Jir popped back up. She's apparently somewhat okay. I mean, it did seem like in the last chapter when Dabi hit her, she was able to put up a minor force field to keep the blow from hitting her with its full force, at least. And then, of course, a little back and forth between Best Jeanist and Bakugo about how Bakugo's explored the new world, and now he has a new name. And finally, we learn the name of Bakugo, the name that has been foreshadowed for the last 50, 60 chapters. Great Explosion Murder God Dynamite! Yeah! And even the villains who are in the midst of being captured have to think to themselves, that is such a tacky name. Oh my god. But if you take out the Great Explosion Murder God part of it, Dynamite is a perfect name for Bakugo. I mean, for one thing, it has might in it, like All Might. I find it pretty funny that's, Deku, who's originally going to call himself All Might Jr., all these All Might variants of what his hero name would be, but it's Bakugo instead, who ends up, taking the All Might name, who ends up inheriting at least part of his will. I don't know, I find that pretty interesting. Alright, so from now on, Bakugo's name is Dynamite. It just, again, like I said, it works for him. It really works for him. Anyway, then it looks like Dabi's ready to put the past behind him and gives his little brother a great big hug. I mean, he was planning on burning him to death, but, it's still a brotherly hug, and we should view that as at least a little bit of progress. And quite frankly, it almost looks like Dabi's planning on this being, a suicide attack. Like, he's burning himself, too, with his hug. His plan might actually be just to die here with Shoto, or maybe he just doesn't even care if he lives or dies at this point, just as long as he can further hurt Endeavor. And oh god, freaking Endeavor. He is just so utterly, completely broken right now. He can't move, he can't think, he literally can't do anything except watch in horror as his one son murders his other son. And Dabi is freaking loving it. Oh my god, this might be my favorite shots in all of My Hero Academia. Dabi's burning face. Oh, wow, that's terrifying. That is truly, utterly terrifying. Thankfully, Deku comes in and saves the day, and I was not expecting this. I was really, really not expecting it, but I freaking love it. Deku unlocked Froppy style. I mean, last chapter he said, it didn't matter if his arms or legs are broken. He meant it. He can literally just use his tongue like Froppy does to get around and attack the bad guys. Oh, I love you, Deku. I freaking love you, and I cannot wait for Froppy to see you do that. Please tell me at some point in the future you're gonna end up doing like a tag team attack where you both use your tongues like that. Oh, that'd be amazing. That'd be absolutely freaking amazing. And then we just get this great line. And guess what? You aren't Endeavor. When I first heard that line, I'm like, that's kind of cheesy, that's kind of stupid. But then, after I read the chapter, I was starting thinking about it, and I realized something. That's basically exactly what Deku said to Endeavor when he first met him. He said, I'm not All Might, and Shoto isn't you. He's his own person who's living his own life and is making his own choices. And this is quite frankly why I think that Endeavor's kids are going to be more willing to forgive him than, say, the rest of the world might be, because they lived that life. They went through the hell. They know exactly what Dabi went through, what Toya went through, and none of them became serial killers. Fuyumi became a freaking kindergarten teacher. Natsu, full-time student, so, at least he's not living in a ditch somewhere. Shoto chose to become a hero. It's not that he became a hero because Endeavor told him to be one. He chose to live as a hero. He chose that life because that's what he really wanted, regardless of anything else. And this is apparently enough to wake up Endeavor from the funk he's in, and he delivers one killer blow to Giganto, knocking him out. Woo! Though that wasn't entirely done by him. The sedative that the mansion team gave him finally managed to kick in, and Endeavor just, gave the finishing blow that knocked him out. Thank you freaking God. I mean, it was just so utterly freaking depressing when it seemed like everything they did, the whole, climbing up Giganto, getting to his mouth, the battle against it just led to nothing. That it led to all those heroes being killed with no benefit for them. But now, finally, way, like 30 chapters later, it had meaning, it had purpose. Thank you freaking God. So now just the question remains, what happens next? I mean, Giganto is knocked unconscious, Shigaraki is severely injured, barely able to move. The rest of the League of Villains, they're all, knocked out or restrained in some way. The Nomu basically been taken care of by everyone at this point. So what happens next? I feel like it's the villains' turn to, take lead here to find a way to turn the tables on the heroes. I just don't know exactly how they would do it. I mean, maybe All For One is going to escape from prison and lend them helping hand that way. That seems unlikely. I think what's more likely, what's more plausible, at least at this point, is that All For One's going to take over Shigaraki's body and unlock a teleportation quirk that he uses to rescue everyone. I mean, maybe not Giganto, because then, what really was the point of, drugging him, knocking him unconscious, all that. If they at least captured Giganto, I would feel that would be a little better. I feel like they would have actually served some sort of purpose here. I don't know about that. So what's next, really? I think at this point, all the villains can really do is run away, escape, hide, and the heroes will just have to clean up the mess, work on fixing their broken bones, their broken bodies, all of the thousands and thousands of buildings that were destroyed, people that were killed, and just the ridiculous swath of destruction that was allowed to happen because they couldn't stop the villains in time. I'm very excited to see just the world react to what comes next, and the epilogue to this whole encounter. Really, really, really want to see Endeavor having a conversation with Hawks. I still think that Hawks knows something more about Dabi. They had some sort of encounter together in the past. Maybe Dabi was part of the same super soldier program that Hawks was. That's still what I'm leaning towards. And, I just really want Hawks to talk about his past, how Endeavor stopped his father, the villain, and what that meant to Hawks. I'm still leaning towards, maybe his father was abusive, and because Endeavor stopped him, that led to him viewing Endeavor as his one true hero. Please, just let there be a scene where Hawks says, Endeavor, you've always been my hero. Oh god, I would love that. And then, there's just the world reacting to all this. Reacting to the top two heroes essentially being kicked out of Hero Society. No way they're going to recognize Hawks as a hero after they saw him stab a dude in the back. Yeah, so no more number 2 hero, no more number 1 hero, because Endeavor, he is definitely gone, completely 100%. I am looking forward to his redemption after that, but for now, at least, he's done. That just leaves Best Jeanist, who definitely does not seem like he's in 100% shape. He was coughing up blood a bit last chapter, so yeah, he's definitely not as strong as he used to be. He definitely has more limits now. It's definitely be interesting to see the students pick up the slack, take up the roles of the heroes who were working with a league, who were defamed, or, who were just straight up killed in this huge encounter. See them become the heroes of a world that might not want them to be heroes anymore. I'm just really excited to see that, but please leave anything else down below. Is this it? Is the battle finally over here and now? Are they going to escape? Are they going to get arrested? What's going to happen next? Be sure to like, subscribe to the next video, and until then,
peace.